And welcome back to the Old Gal Box podcast and radio show. Glad you're with us again. All this brought to you by our friends at Casa de Campo in the Dominican Republic. Excited to be going back down in December. They're going to cut the ribbon on Teeth of the Dog. That's the gem of the late, great Pete Dye, who designed 4 courses there. Teeth has undergone a renovation. Over the last 6 months to a year, Jerry Pate's company has been involved. It looks fantastic. They say they can play right now, but they're letting the grass grow in 100%. And in December, Teeth will be back in the fold. Check it out, casadecampo.com. Gilles Gagnon, who's been in our show, in fact, was on yesterday, the Old Gal Box podcast and radio show. Contact him via the website, casadecampo.com, and he and the staff will roll out the red carpet. All right, time now for the Pigskin Prognosticator of Prodigious Proportions. And remember, if you listen to us, you wake up Sunday morning independently wealthy. Our picks have been good. In fact, I wanted to tell you this. Best teams to bet on against the point spread. Texas Tech, who's having a phenomenal season. They'll be one of our picks this week. 4-0 against the spread. Mississippi State, despite losing in overtime to Tennessee at home, 5-0 against the spread. Number 1, Ohio State, 3-0-1 against the point spread. Memphis, 5-0. Great team to bet on this season. Alabama and Vandy playing Saturday afternoon in Tuscaloosa. Alabama 3-1 against the point spread, and Vanderbilt 4-1 against the spread. The 4 worst teams to bet on in college football through the first month of the season. Clemson, Penn State, Georgia, SMU, all 0-4 against the point spread. So if you wagered on those guys, you've lost big time. All right, let's start with the picks. Clemson, a 13.5-point favorite at North Carolina. Now think about this. Bill Belichick's team, the 2 legitimate teams they played, they had a couple of pushover wins, but they lost to TCU in the opener. We saw that on a Thursday night, 48-14, and they lost last week to Central Florida, 34-9. If you look at the 2-deep depth chart for North Carolina, there's not anybody on the 2-deep for the Tar Heels who could potentially be a starter at Clemson. Talent level, it's heavily in favor of Clemson. And even though the Tigers are 1-3, 0-2 in the ACC, Dabo taking some heat, if there is such a thing for a guy who's had all his success, I'm telling you, Clemson is going to blow out North Carolina and start the turnaround of their season. Personnel comparison doesn't compare. Clemson covers easily against North Carolina. Meantime, Texas, 7-point favorite at Florida. Now think about this. After Texas loses to Ohio State, their wins have been against San Jose State, UTEP, Sam Houston. The Gators, after their opening win, they lose to South Florida at home. Heartbreaker, last-second field goal. They lose at LSU, a game they had all the turnovers. Could have won it. And they hung in there through the fourth quarter with Miami and lose at Miami. So those are their 3 losses. 2 really good defensive teams. Texas blew out the Gators a year ago when they had some quarterback struggles. DJ Lagway, by the way, is getting himself back in shape. Weighed 255 pounds through the first few weeks of the season. Didn't work out this summer because of a leg injury. Couldn't get the cardio in. The kid's getting back into form. I like the Gators getting 7 at home. Texas better not be looking past the Gators. I think the Gators could pull off the upset, but getting 7 at home is too good to pass up. Meantime, Vanderbilt, Alabama. This started on Sunday. Alabama, a 13.5-point favorite. It's now down to 10. First time since 1937 that the 2 teams have met as ranked teams. Now, obviously, Vanderbilt hasn't been ranked very often in their lifetime, but this is a really good Vanderbilt team, and this is a Heisman matchup of quarterbacks. Ty Simpson, Diego Pavia. If you look right now at the odds to win the Heisman, they're 2-3 in most polls. Ty 2, Pavia 3. Whoever wins this game, and if they have a good game, they can move up that ladder. This is something. I just can't believe Vanderbilt is going to beat Alabama 2 years in a row, even though this is a very good Vanderbilt team. Great quarterback, great running back. Offensive line is outstanding for Vandy. They control third down. That was a problem a year ago. Alabama couldn't get them off the field. I think Alabama wins this game. I have great confidence in that. I just like Vanderbilt getting 10 in this game, and I think that is a really, really good number if you're going in that direction. Meantime, the other games I like, Boise State at Notre Dame. Did you watch Notre Dame just blow out a good Arkansas team last week? It cost Sam Pittman his job. He was relieved of his duties the next day. Bobby Petrino filling in for Arkansas, but we're not going there. Notre Dame looked really good. Running game is right there. After losing their first 2 games, I think Notre Dame is on a rampage now to win 10 in a row and potentially get back or earn another playoff spot. I think Notre Dame blows out Boise State at home. This is not the Boise State from years gone by. Good, not great. Notre Dame is getting it together, and they steamroll Boise this Saturday. Meantime, Miami at FSU. The Hurricanes, a 5-point favorite. You know, this is interesting. Obviously, ABC, ESPN, the SEC is their bell cow, is their baby, and yet their primetime game Saturday night is the Miami FSU game, a little ACC action, and I think it's going to be a great game. Here's the deal with FSU. They caught Alabama sleepwalking in the opener. We saw the Virginia game last week, which, by the way, was a phenomenal game. I'm not a big field storming guy, but that was awesome as the Virginia students were running onto the field. But teams have figured out the Gus Malzahn, Thomas Castellanos offense. He's not a great passer. We saw that on display against Virginia. Miami is stout and right now injury-free. All their good players are healthy. This is a Miami team that could win the national championship. I think Miami covers that 5 points in Tallahassee. And I think the Seminoles, after the high hopes, the top 10 ranking, they go 2 back-to-back losses, Virginia, and they get beat by Miami, who covers, by the way. Meantime, Texas A&M hosting Mississippi State. Road game for Mississippi State. They've been at home and look pretty good. 13.5-point favorite, the Aggies at home. Last week against Auburn, that was a heavyweight knockdown, drag-out 15-rounder with Auburn, 16-10 the final. I mean, it was just, Auburn's defense is really good. We've seen that on display. It's their offense that seemingly is the big question mark. But getting back to Mississippi State, good offensively. They can score points. That was an exciting game against Tennessee. I just think going on the road against the Texas A&M defense, which is stout, one of the best in the Southeastern Conference, one of the best pass defenses in the Southeastern Conference, and I like Texas A&M winning by more than 2 touchdowns against Mississippi State, who goes on the road for the first time. Meantime, Georgia at home against Kentucky, and I've had people tell me this is a trap game. Georgia loses to Alabama, and now they're taking on this downtrodden Kentucky team. Oh my goodness, Kentucky's going nowhere. You're right. This is not a good Kentucky team. Offensively, they're struggling. Mark Stoops, who knows if his tenure is on the verge of ending after this season, but I think Georgia takes all their frustrations out against Kentucky and blows them out by more than 3 touchdowns. And if you watch the second half against Alabama, Georgia it's really a matter of getting off to a better start in the first quarter for Georgia. Tennessee, they fell behind. Alabama, they fell behind. They will not fall behind against Kentucky. Georgia blows out Kentucky. I love these picks, by the way. Meantime, Texas Tech, Houston, couple undefeateds in the Big 12. This is an exciting game, by the way. Texas Tech spent as much money as anybody in the NIL area this past offseason. All their players are contributing. So far, good investment. All their players are healthy, who they got in the NIL, especially those kids up front in the defensive line. Houston's undefeated. It hasn't happened in a long time, over 5 weeks, to have Houston undefeated. They can score points. This is going to be one of those wild Big 12 games, back and forth. Texas Tech on the road, 10.5. Give me Houston, 10.5 at home. Love their offense. I think it's going to be a Houston year. We saw that a year ago with Arizona State in the Big 12. I think Houston's that team this year. I like Houston getting 10.5 at home. So those are the picks, everybody. The Pigskin Prognosticator of Prodigious Proportions Week 6. Check us out. We love it. And again, check us out Monday mornings, 8:15 Central Time, 9:15 Eastern, Tide 100.9 FM, Birmingham, Tuscaloosa. Barry Sanderson, Coach Sanderson, they have me on. We have a lot of fun. We do our early picks, and then, of course, I post it later on the Old Gab Box podcast and radio show. Thanks for watching, everybody, and enjoy the weekend. We're looking good.